Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday. There, there might be for some other sections, I suppose. Yeah, could be.
Good evening, everyone. I am Mayor Shelley Carlson, and I am calling the May 28th, 2024 City Council meeting to order. The Moorhead City Council welcomes public input on issues listed on the agenda or of general community interest, time, and council permitting. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. If you would like to address the council during the meeting, please fill out a form provided by the city clerk, and we will call you up during the citizens addressing the council item on the agenda. Please state your name and if you are a Moorhead resident. If comments were submitted to the clerk prior to the meeting via email or phone, those comments will be entered into record. For more information on participation, please visit the council meetings page on the City of Moorhead website at moorheadmn.gov. We, the Moorhead City Council, collectively and with gratitude acknowledge the sacred land the City of Moorhead is built upon. We acknowledge the people who have resided here for generations and recognize that the spirit of the Dakota, Ojibwe, Métis, and all indigenous communities permeates this land. With that, could I get a roll call, please?
Ryan Nelson.
Here.
Matt Gilbertson.
Here.
Heather Niesemeyer. Here. Laura Caroon. Deb White. Larry Seljevold.
Here.
Sebastian McDougall. Chuck Hendrickson.
Here.
Mayor Shelley Carlson.
Here. And for those who are able, please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Right, and City Manager Molly, are there any agenda amendments?
There are no amendments to the agenda, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second, Niesemeyer.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. On to recognitions and presentations. We have one tonight, and this is a proclamation declaring this week National Emergency Medical Services Week, and Councilmember Ryan Nelson will be reading that as a member of the Red River Valley Dispatch Board.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the official proclamation of the Clay County Intergovernmental Committee. And the proclamation states, whereas on May 22nd, 2024, Clay County citizens will unite in support of firefighters and emergency medical personnel nationwide to promote National Emergency Medical Services Week, and whereas citizens are urged to support firefighters and emergency medical technicians in a myriad of ways across Clay County, from sending a card of support to their local fire department or EMS agency, sharing a positive story on social media about emergency personnel, to thanking emergency personnel they come in contact with. And whereas emergency personnel play an integral part in Clay County by protecting and serving the community, and they deserve our support. And whereas the Clay County Intergovernmental Committee, which includes the Moorhead Area Public Schools, Dilworth, Glendon, Felton Public Schools, City of Moorhead, City of Dilworth, and Clay County, is recognizing those in emergency services and the public service they provide to our communities. Now, therefore, the Clay County Intergovernmental Committee do hereby proclaim Friday, May 24th, 2024 as Fire and Emergency Medical Services Appreciation Day. Further, let it be resolved that on May 19th, 2024 through May 25th, 2024 be proclaimed National Emergency Medical Services Week, and all citizens of Clay County are encouraged to wear red on May 24th, 2024 in support of fire and emergency medical personnel. In witness whereof, we have hereunto set our hands and jointly signed as the representative of each agency of Clay County Intergovernmental Committee the 22nd day of May 2024. And this proclamation was signed by the Superintendent of Moorhead Schools, Brandon Lunick, the Superintendent of DGF Public Schools, Shannon Hunstead, the Mayor of Dilworth, Chad Olson, the Clay County Commission Chair, David Ebinger, and our very own Mayor Shelley Carlson. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. And thank you to all those emergency medical personnel who do that incredible work in our community. Moving on to the approval of the May 13th, 2024 meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes?
So moved.
Motion.
Second, Karun.
Gilbertson with a motion, Karun with a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Moving on to citizens who wish to address the council, and we do have one individual who would like to address the council. This would be Zach Quant.
Yep.
And I really like the color you guys are all wearing. Apparently you
Thank
got
you.
my memo.
Well, all right.
Feel free to state your name, and if you are a resident of Moorhead, you'll have 3 minutes. Green, you can
Yep.
continue to speak, and then red means your 3 minutes are
Oh,
up.
good. I'll keep on task. All right. Good evening. My name is Zach Quant. I come to this meeting not only as a resident of this city, but as the ASME representative. I'd like to take some time to speak with you as you deliberate on the budget for the upcoming year. I urge for a substantial increase in wages for all public employees, with a particular emphasis on our union members. It is imperative that we recognize the dedication and hard work of these individuals who keep the city of Moorhead running smoothly and safely. Moorhead City has not conducted an official wage study since 2016, and in the absence of this, we have undertaken our own research. The findings are clear and concerning that Moorhead lags significantly behind other comparable cities across Minnesota in terms of hourly compensation. The discrepancy is one of sustainability. Competitive wages are crucial for attracting and retaining talented employees. Without addressing this issue head-on, we risk losing valuable workers to other cities and employers that offer better benefits and compensation. We understand that Moorhead has consistently maintained budget surpluses and strong reserve funds. This financial stability provides a solid foundation for investing in both our public employees and our community. These men and women who keep our neighborhoods clean, our water accessible, maintain our infrastructure, ensure our public safety, they deserve to be compensated fairly for their commitment and service. So again, I ask you all to budget for a substantial wage increase for the employees of the city of Moorhead. Show us your appreciation for their hard work and dedication by ensuring that they receive the wages they rightly deserve. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming tonight, and as we begin budget negotiations and discussions, we will certainly take that under consideration. So thank you all for coming tonight. Moving on to, we do not have any public hearings tonight. So the next item on the agenda is under the Parks and Recreation Department, and I will turn this over to Parks and Rec Director Holly Hackett.
Thank you so much. Before you tonight is a resolution requesting permission to submit a grant to the Minnesota Historical Society for a camera surveillance system at the Yumcom Center. The grant we would like to submit includes a $20,000 match requirement to the $83,600 cost for the installation of these interior and exterior cameras. This grant is being submitted in partnership with the Historical Cultural Society of Clay County, who is the main author on the grant. Maureen joins me here tonight if you have any additional questions for her. In the last year, there's been a growing number of troubling incidences, including theft of museum property, individuals hiding in the building, defacing the Stav Church, along with several altercations with individuals that are aggressive, angry, and obviously in an altered state. This last Friday, windows were smashed out of 2 of our staff persons' cars. Cameras may not have prevented this from happening, but it certainly would assist in the apprehension of the offenders. Yumcom staff have worked with the City Police Department, the IT department, and building tenants, including the museum and the FM Community Theater, to do what we can to try and provide a safe environment for the many children that come here as well as our visitors. This grant is funded through the Minnesota Historical Society's Clean Water and Legacy Amendment to the Minnesota Constitution. The grant decision for funding would happen in November of 2024. And this would be phase 2. In the 2024 budget, this council most graciously awarded us funds to do card access system. So now we're much safer because of that. But phase 2 of that project was to be included in the 2025 budget. So the $20,000 would be a savings compared to the $100,000 that was going to be submitted. There is an operational cost, an annual fee for saving the storage of the data of $1,400 should be awarded this grant. If you have any additional questions, I'm happy to answer those, or Maureen could help.
Thank you, Director Heitkamp. Any questions or comments for Director Heitkamp? Councilmember White.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to say I do really support this, and I think besides just making sure that we're doing things to preserve our assets, the facility, but even for the safety of the workers, that we've done things like trying to make the place more accessible by having things like evening hours, but there's a very limited staff that for the museum, and so if people are here alone in the evening, just making sure that we have things like that, it acts as a deterrent. And, and if something, as you said, if something did happen, then it would be helpful for that. But I think it would give people a little bit of peace of mind knowing that that's there too.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Councilmember Niesmeyer.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to appreciate the work that you and Maureen have put forward for this grant. I would just be echoing what Councilmember White said, that it's more about our assets or our physical things. It's also about the people who are here, who come to the events, which I am always encouraged by seeing a long, long list or a lobby full of families coming in on Tuesday night, which was delightful to see walking in. And so I know it takes a lot of time and energy, and I encourage you to continue to seek improvements to this wonderful building. We wouldn't be Moorhead without it. And so I appreciate, again, the effort and encourage you to explore maybe a phase 3 if we need it.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, I would be looking for a resolution to approve the grant submission.
White moves to approve.
Second, Niesmeyer.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Right, that motion carries. Right, on to the Community Development Report, or Development Department, I should say, and I will turn this over to Forrest Steinhoff.
Forrest isn't here today, but it's Ethan, so.
Yeah, I was going to say, you look a lot different than Forrest, so thank you, Ethan.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. The resolution before you tonight is to approve 3 agreements relating to the 2024 Community Garden Grant. This grant is intended to support organizations and individuals who are starting or operating a community garden on private property. This helps fund things like seeds, garden beds, soil preparation, tools, and eliminates or reduces membership fees. Last year, our 3 recipients utilized the funding to start or enhance their gardens, which ended up providing produce to families of the members that participated, while also giving an opportunity to gift produce to other families, as well as the Dorothy Day House. Additionally, recipients had community building events, such as cookouts and educational sessions. This year, a total of 4 applications were received, and 3 of the 4 meet the requirements of the program. Well, the 4th applicant unfortunately recently notified us that they're closing their doors. So the 3 recipients proposed for a $500 grant are Minnesota State University Moorhead, Grateful Community Garden, and Prairie. and staff is recommending the approval of the 3 grants. If you have any additional questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Ethan. Any questions for Mr. Junk? Councilmember White.
Thank you, Mayor. I had one question about the MSUM one, because I think when it was originally proposed, they were looking at using the food to help folks, particularly students with food insecurity, and I just didn't see anything in there. So do you know who will be using it?
It was submitted by some of the sustainability interns, as well as a staff member that does work with the maintenance on campus. I haven't heard anything about that. So
If I'm correct, I think it was part of that, because we have students that have to go that are getting food from food pantries and are really struggling with food insecurity, and I think this was meant to be, originally when I heard it, was meant to be another way to help meet that gap.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I would be looking for a motion to approve this agreement.
Move to approve Niesmeyer.
Second, Karun.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Junk. All right, moving on to mayor and council reports. Are there any council members who have reports from boards or commissions? Councilmember Niesmeyer.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I first would like to appreciate the members of the AFSCME Local for showing up. As a member of the Green Machine myself, it is always nice to see active union members showing up and asking for equitable wages. It is something that I firmly believe in. I also had the opportunity today to go to 2 other meetings that were doing budgeting, and the Clay County Collaborative successfully reviewed not only our budget proposal, but all of the applications. For those of you who aren't aware of what the Clay County Collaborative does, it is a group that specifically brings services together to coordinate and integrate resources and services for children, youth, and families. And it is a collaborative group between the city, mental health providers, and the county. So the other budget meeting I was able to be at and approve is public health. Don Bacon, the director of the Moorhead Public Housing Agency, did a great job of putting together a budget. I'm really looking forward to some updates and changes and movement moving forward. We will be moving into some strategic planning, which I believe will better serve our Moorhead residents. I also yesterday had the opportunity to attend an outstanding presentation at the Fargo National Cemetery. At the Fargo National Cemetery, all current service members as well as those who had passed were honored. And I want to appreciate the mayor for encouraging me to attend. The keynote speaker, I'm going to make sure I say her name appropriately. Brigadier General Jackie Huber had an outstanding presentation on the history of women in the service, and that was the whole ceremony, what it was about, appreciating women in the military service. So I will also want to appreciate the emergency medical individuals who were part of Councilmember Nelson's a proclamation and acknowledge all of the service that they do for us 365 days a year.
Thank you. Other council members, Councilmember White.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I wanted to mention I was at last Thursday, the Heartland Trail Study Group meeting. For those of you who don't know, we've been working on seeing if we can get the Heartland Trail, which now runs from Park Rapids to Walker, all the way, we would like to get it all the way to Moorhead. And so MetroCog has funded a study to look at bringing it through Clay County, and I was happy to be able to serve on that. And one of the things I wanted to let people know is they're looking for community input. And so there is a survey and an interactive map. You can go on it. We actually have a link to it on our city's Facebook page, but you can go on and see some of the different proposed routes, give some ideas of what kinds of things you would like to see or what routes you would like to see or different amenities along the trail. But it would be great to get the word out about that and get as much input as possible. I wanted to mention that Councilmember Seljevold and I will be doing one of our conversations with council members on June 13th at 6:30 at River Oaks Park. And this is one where we don't actually have a pavilion this time, but we really want to be down in that area because, we have a fairly, we have a dog park that's fairly new, but also just the park in general is fairly new, and some good, some bad. And so I wanted to get some good input from residents. And so we are asking people to just bring a chair or a blanket and sit out. We'll be down near the dog park, and we'll bring cookies and beverages, and we'd love to hear from people. And then lastly, wanted to wish luck to everybody who's participating in any of the Fargo Marathon events this week. This is the 20th anniversary of the Fargo Marathon, and there will be a mile in honor of Mark Knutson, who sadly isn't able to be here with us to celebrate that. And we've got a lot of events occurring in Moorhead this year. In fact, the expo, the packet pickup, and the 5K are all at Concordia. So more traffic. Watch for those on Thursday and Friday. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilmember Hendrickson.
Thank you, Mayor Carlson. I had the opportunity to attend the Silver Linings groundbreaking, and that was on May 21st, and it's an important institution for homeless 55 plus. It's a growing number, and it was great. It's kind of soggy. It was kind of rainy, but all in all, a really good event and really inspiring. And then we had the Solid Waste Advisory Committee last Thursday, and they talked about the numbers for cleanup week, or cleanup weeks. And I wasn't prepared, so I didn't bring those numbers, but when I've been on council before, I wondered if we can get an update from our Public Works Director about cleanup week and how everything went, and how many tons and that, and even make a little game of it, of how many tons were collected. And one thing they did tell us at the Solid Waste Advisory Committee, they were 2 people down, but I guess Clay County and the city of Moorhead worked well together to collect and dispose of the refuse, the collected items. So I want to give kudos to our public service employees and the employees of Clay County. So it sounded like they really did a good job. But yeah, if we could get an update, that would be great too. That's all I have.
Councilmember McDougall.
Yeah, being June's right around the corner, just want to give a quick reminder that events will be held here for Juneteenth on the 17th between 4 and 8.
Thank you. Councilmember Kroon.
Thank you, Mayor. Very excited. Wanted to invite the community and remind council members of the brand new community center and public library groundbreaking that is happening on June 5th. That's at 3 p.m. at the southwest corner of Center Avenue and 5th Street, which is the current U.S. Bank parking lot. So we hope to see all of you there.
Thank you. And all are welcome to that. Any other council updates? Right, see none. Mayor updates, different events that I participated in on behalf of the city of Moorhead and also boards and commissions. The Minneapolis Star Tribune was here, and myself and Councilmember McDougall, I think you were the only council member that was able to be there that night. They had a number of individuals from the Tribune that were up in Moorhead to determine how to better showcase our community and our region in the Star Tribune. So that was a great and very well attended event, and hopefully we'll start seeing some more information put out in regards to particularly the city of Moorhead and our region, considering the fact that we are the second largest metropolitan community outside of Minneapolis, St. Paul at 250,000. There were 2 different events. Addie Sunshine and Treats is a new nonprofit organization started by Addie. And also the Glass Doctors grand opening was here, and their national, not owner, but the franchisee person actually came to Moorhead and was extremely impressed with our community and was surprised at the amount of growth that we are having. And Glass Doctors has a brand new, phenomenal, great business located in our industrial park. I was also able to attend the honor flight to Washington, D.C. from May 19th through the 21st. and accompanied 102 veterans from North Dakota, Minnesota, that went to the memorials to celebrate and honor the veterans who may not have received a great welcoming when they came back from their tour of duties. And so that was a very transformative experience. And on behalf of the City of Moorhead, council members, myself, thank you to all people who serve in the military. It was a very eye-opening experience and one I'm really will treasure for the rest of my life. Related to that, I was also asked to speak at the American Legion for a Memorial Day event to honor those who truly gave their life so that we have this legacy of freedom that we get to experience here in the United States. Attended 3 diversion meetings over the last 2 weeks, the diversion finance meeting, the Moorhead Clay County Joint Powers Association, and the Fargo-Moorhead Diversion Authority Board meeting. Summary is we are still within budget for the financial package for the diversion project. We're continuing to purchase land acquisitions and flowage easements on the Minnesota side, still in eminent domain on a number of properties related in Clay County and Wilkin County. And with our board meeting, probably the biggest is that we are beginning the search for the executive director, working on the job description right now. And that is all I have as far as mayor reports, but I do have one thing that I need to read, which is a summary of the performance conversation that was held with City Manager Dan Mully and the City Council of the City of Moorhead, Minnesota. The City Council of the City of Moorhead met on May 13th, 2024, and had a performance conversation with City Manager Dan Mully. During this performance conversation, the Moorhead City Council evaluated Mr. Mully on the following specific areas: elected body relationships, organizational skills, community relations, fiscal performance, intergovernmental agency and association relationships, communication, personnel, goals, and target achievement. The City Council determined that Mr. Mully's performance in the above described areas ranged from exceeds expectations to exceptional. The City Council then reviewed Mr. Mully's overall performance as City Manager and determined that he was exceeding expectations for the position of City Manager. Mr. Mully then provided input and feedback regarding his position. And there will be an amendment at the next council meeting. I'm looking at our city attorney to make sure that I have this correct. An amendment at the next city council meeting to an update to Mr. Mully's contract. And just on behalf of the council, thank you for continuing to serve and lead the 280, I think 290 individuals that work for the City of Moorhead. When I see and read the exceeding expectations and the rating that you receive from every single one of council members, we really appreciate your work and your dedication to making this community the best that it can be. So thank you.
Thank you,
And
Mayor.
with
Is this my turn?
Now I'm turning it over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mayor. It's a little humbling when we have all these guys sitting here that actually do the real work. I'll just want to say, though, that thank you for that. I mean, that's like, I really appreciate it, but want to recognize and appreciate this local AFSCME group for showing up. When you're getting ready for labor negotiations, things can be a little tense, and we've sat down kind of before this starts. We're going to be starting to schedule meetings in earnest, sending out notices next month, and kind of had gotten together with some pre-meetings, just kind of setting the stage and that sort of thing to, I don't know, start with a spirit of like openness. And I just want all of you to know that, like, I mean, what you do is so incredibly appreciated and recognized, and you're out there when nobody else is. And I think, I think we're all going to work hard together to make these contracts the best that they can possibly be. I do want you also to know that there is a market wage study underway right now as well, so that information that's being asked for is being gathered. And, we're going to set out in earnest to be the best place in this whole area to work. And just absolutely all the way. So hope we show that and prove it to you here. in the next few months. And like even in showing up, this is good. It's open, and let's do it. So the few park, as far as the things go, the couple ribbon cuttings coming up. Inclusive Playground, that was scheduled for Thursday, May 30th, which sounds like the weather's going to be nasty, in the 50s and windy and rainy and things like that. So we just found out from Holly that the ribbon cutting for the Inclusive Playground is rescheduled for Friday, June 7th at 1:30 at Southside Regional Park. So all of the, those news releases and e-notifications and updates will be happening there. Councilmember Karoun mentioned the groundbreaking for the community center library. Another big one that's coming up is the grand opening ribbon cutting for the Natural Play Hill. We're going to do that with the FM Rotary on June 20th at 10 a.m. at Riverfront Park in Moorhead. And that's really great to think that this incredible downtown project that's underway started with a playground and a bike park. That's the way you do it. That's how you create places that are worthy of our grandkids, no doubt. The municipal pool and wading pools across the community open on Friday, May 31st at 1:30 and 2 o'clock. So that's happening. And then with that pool, there's a Dive Into Summer event where families are welcome to come in. It's free. There's refreshments. There's going to be prizes and all kinds of fun stuff from 6 to 8:30 on June 4th at the municipal pool at Romkey. So, and that's it.
Right.
And hey, if I could, you guys, you picked the right meeting to come to. This is a short one. Good call.
And I just would like to say, I see Juan in the audience. You guys get to drive some really cool machines too. So I think you need like a PhD in order to run them, because I've never seen so many tech, but like buttons and everything. Maybe you and the IT people can get together and have really interesting conversations. We do not have an executive session tonight and no new business, so it is 6:01 and we are adjourned. So good night, Moorhead.